For all the mornings that I come in late, got one this morning where I am 30 seconds early. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Looks like we had channel members Will, Svinborn, Rob, Craig, General Rush, good to see you, sir. Lieutenant Colonel Goose, good to see you, sir. Nancy, Cliff, Ted. Glad to see everybody. And how's it going? Dawn, good morning. Goog morning. Yeah, you got some news on Google? Goog morning. And PPI coming in little below. Hey, Rongemer, finally got my recall notice. Hugh, good morning. And it's like, what do you need to do? Nothing. We don't have them. We don't know when we'll get them. We'll let you know. That's kind of funny. Anyway. Hey, aloha. And yeah, PPI coming in a little bit. I mean, we were negative, so we're coming back up. That's a good sign. I mean, not a good sign, really. That's inflation climbing. Prices coming up again. But we're just hovering right in there. Hovering. PPI month over month. Let's go over to, let's grab this one. See if I got it loaded up. PPI year over year. Forecast 2.6, got 2.6 month over month. 2 and 2, excluding food, energy, all the stuff all the stuff we spend money on. 2.7. That's slightly lower. 2.9 last time. Let's see, core PPI year over year, slightly lower. I don't know. 3% on your PPI means that the prices when they come to the consumers are going to be higher eventually. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but we pay for that, all right? It's not like any business is going to absorb higher costs out of the graciousness of their heart. It's just not the way business works. It will, right? Tariffs will be passed to consumers. Higher taxes will be passed to consumers. Higher business tax means higher prices for consumers. That's higher prices for us. I mean, it's just like, it's ridiculous. Essentially, if you're going to tax the people, you should not tax business. And if you're going to tax business, don't tax the people. But let's tax everybody. That's kind of the way this goes. I digress. I'm not a politician. They want to raise our local sales tax by, they keep saying, it's just a half a penny. It's just a half a cent tax. Yeah, half a cent on $1. Spend $100, that goes up. Spend $1,000, that goes up. And it's not like they're ever going to take it back away. So this raising taxes, no matter how you look at it. Like, oh well, we won't tax. It won't affect you if blah 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 blah. It's like bullshit. Higher taxes is higher taxes. Anyway, yesterday, look at that beautiful 3-wave right into the 15 minutes. Beautiful. We did come up right to the target too. Look at that. Right to the target. Retrace to the roadmap line. Can't make this stuff up. Look at the proportions right here. First move down, retrace. Next move down, right to the 1618 and stop. Right there. Beautiful. So what are we going to do today? Here's the levels, key levels right there. 618. Come up, break through, probably going on an extension, maybe here, maybe up here, just grinding, still grinding. You can see the last time we did that 15-minute bounce right here a few days back. shot up to the 1618 and actually got the bigger picture pullback extension there. 60-60, right up to it. The retrace, we're retraced over here. So grind higher until further notice. That's, we may grind higher into the FOMC next week. So little bitty pullback, probably going to shoot it right back up. There's your upside numbers. 60-67, 60-74, and the bigger target zone right up here, 61-20. These are cash index numbers, not futures numbers. You're like, JT, that's a lot of fib lines getting on that chart right there. Yeah. It is, it is. There you go. That pullback, 15-minute. Now, if we started down a little more negative, which, check it out over here. Got things a little more negative on, we're below the 30. We're down to the 1 hour. But we hit the 1 hour a few days back. Pretty much the same as the 15-minute on the cash index. And this is the futures. I switched to futures because they have overnight action. We had a little bit more softness overnight here. The close yesterday was right here. We're actually gonna open down slightly on the S&P here in a minute. Gonna open down just a little bit unless this thing pops off. So we've got this bigger pullback from that high to this low. Here's the 618, 60.41. Not the same as the cash index. This, you'd have to look at the futures. Set your alert there, 60.41. We get through that upside right up here. These are futures numbers, not cash numbers. Cash index different. 60, 85, 75, and 60, 96, 50. That'd be the next upside resistance zone if we pop it off today. Right there. Now, if we reject, where's support? Take a look. First move down, retrace. Next move down, potential. Puts us on down in here. 4 hour, right there. Look, it's not magic. We're going to do something bigger, deeper. Right down to the 4 hour. Right there. There's your downside targets. That's basically what to watch. I usually do that at the end, but why not start out with a little S&P analysis here? NASDAQ, I'll circle back around what I expect to happen today. At the very end, I have a one chart set up. Oh, look at that. I pulled that trend line up. We tagged it, pulled back, maintaining the uptrend of lows, maintaining the uptrend of highs, getting into a squeeze thing. There's that downtrend highs that we've had going since December. If you haven't seen this, set that high up in December, lower high, lower high. Lower highs are not the thing we want to see when we're expecting a breakout to all-time highs. That's showing weakness. It's been building for 6 months. Be careful out there. These are not strong consolidations right here. You see, when we were ripping, and then this has been, that was a big consolidation. And these, like, we get this leg and then a giant consolidation, and then we've run out of steam here. We're just not taking, like, we're not, I don't think we're opening the door to a bigger uptrend. We're probably going to do something like this. Could hold higher. We'll see what happens. Russell definitely pushing the limits here on this daily chart. All right, I guess this is the 4 hour chart, but flip it up to the daily. Definitely pushing the limits here. If we stop right in this vicinity, in this box, this red box right here, which is where we are, we're right in the middle of it. If we break back out of the bottom, coming right back down here, at least, if not opening the door for the bigger downtrend, because this is a potential 1-2. So we've already done the A wave down, the B wave retrace, and this is a potential 1 down with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 2 second wave retrace. The potential here, this is where things get really crazy. All right, the potential here. We're at a 618 retrace. That's the big picture. A, B, C potential. This one right here. 1, 2, the 3. Just the 3 opens up the door for that right there. 1200. Then we get a 4 and a 5. Potentially going back down to 1,000. That would be absolutely wild right there. Shoot this off of projection. Yeah. Right there to 1,000. So the door that's opened up for, man, this is getting crazy. This is the door that's opened up on Russell. I actually added some shorts on my dad's account. We could push it all the way down in there, but just conservatively 1,000. So what did I do in my dad's account? I added IWM right here. Pull this up, roll down to the options. I've already got, it's the same thing I've had for a couple weeks here. Flew out to September, regular September expiration. Right there. These are upside down from what I'm used to. So I bought that put right there. And then I went down and I sold that put right there. The price $1.86, $1.86. Slobby. So I bought that cost and I sold this. So minus 56 right there. So roughly $1.30 per contract cost. That's what it cost right there. You spent that money. How much can you lose? $1.30. This doesn't work out. That's 130 bucks. You know, because these are times 100. So 130 bucks at risk. Now, that strike, 80. 180. That strike, 150. 180 minus 150, because that limits our profit. The difference between those is 30 strikes. Times 100, 3,000. So 3,000 minus the 130. 130's cost. Right? We could get it back if it went to max profit. Probably not gonna. So we're sitting at 28.70 potential profit. You know, we just get our money back if we get that 28.70 profit. So I don't know about you, but spending 130 to potentially make 28.70. 28.70 divided by 130. That's a 22xer right there. That's a pretty good risk to reward right there. Pretty good risk to reward. You know, can you do bigger? Sure. Can you do smaller? Sure. Can you do something different? Sure. Can you just buy puts? Sure. You know, your risk to reward, if you just bought the 180, pretty high. Now, do I expect it to go all the way down to 100 by September? Probably not. Probably not. Do I expect it to go somewhere down in you know, Do I expect it to fully get this profit? Maybe, maybe not. I do kind of expect a correction down in here somewhere by September. If we got one big drop, it'd be pretty crazy. But we may do something more like, this is a 1, this is a 2. Could do another 1, 2, 3, 4. We could get something like this. And if we did this right there, that'd be time to book it out. All right. You could book it out here and then add back here. And we're probably getting an initial drop. We'll probably get a retrace, and then we'll probably get a bigger drop. Probably the way this is going to go. All right. So that's what I'm looking at right there. That's what I'm looking at. Now, September may not be far enough out. Like I said, that we may not get to 150 by September. You may want to consider reloading further out in time if we get that drop down in the range, book it out, buy back when we get a little pop, buy back the spread, buy another spread further out here, maybe to March next year. I think this is going to take a while. That's the bottom line here. All right. That's how you add some protection. Not a lot of cost. $130 per spread. $2,800 potential. Not bad. Not bad. Don't go crazy. Don't be like, all right, I got $130,000 in my account, so I'm gonna buy 1,000 of those contracts, and don't do that. Don't do that. Oil pushing through the daily charts. Rhetoric that the U.S. is removing non-essential employees from Iraq embassies. Looking like we could fire up a hot war. Iran and Israel going for each other's nuke facilities and whatever. Iran saying they're going to target Israel's nuclear weapons storage facilities. Israel saying they're going to target Iran's nuclear research facilities. Blah, blah, blah. Same story. But the big difference is the U.S. removing non-essential people and preparing for emergency evacuations from people in Iraq. Iraq kind of sits in between Iran and Israel when we look at the map. See if this will not show any of my personal information. Thank you. We go over here. No thanks. Just in case anybody doesn't, know your geography. We've got Iran sitting over here. We've got Israel sitting right over here. And Iraq sitting in between. So if these two go at it, that's right in the middle. And we've got our other stuff down here in Qatar and all the other things. So this is getting spicy, it sounds like, and we might see war. And people are like, well, so knee-jerk reaction on war, probably a pullback in the market. The other reaction on war, generally war is bullish for the market. Oil might spike off with this. It is a risk to oil-producing facilities right there, so you got to be careful. Got to be careful what you're watching out. And gold getting a little retrace, not a higher high. Gold kind of spiking on that war rhetoric also. Still needs this correction. It's probably some sort of 4 correction. Maybe not get as deep as, basically looking for this roadmap line test right here. Looking for that right there. Bitcoin, well, can't say I didn't warn you that this might be what we're doing. Put the big arrows on the charts. Looking for something down around this area. Maybe in conjunction with the roadmap line somewhere out here around JT's birthday. Happy birthday. We get the Bitcoin pullback. You can buy some long positions. And that sets us up for that run to 150 to 170,000. Oh, excuse me. That was weird. Breathed in deep and couldn't hold it. Anyway, sorry about that. If you blew you out on the speaker. That's not bullish. Looking for something deeper. We can hold a deeper correction here and break back higher. That would be beautiful. Come back, retest kind of this area. Just not sure, right? It's low confidence in this price pattern right here. Low confidence. Now, could be setting up a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that's the case, we'll probably get a 618 pullback. That 618 pullback, probably pretty deep. Could take us all the way back down in here. That's really deep. Like I said, the proportions here just don't, they aren't right. They don't look right. They don't. Ambiguous price action. That's what I would say. NKD, watch out. We did retest the high yesterday. This is a global liquidity indicator. If you've never seen this before, it's the Japanese stock market futures. Stopped right there. It's kind of a little, you can say, is this a bull pennant? Bull flag, and we get the continuation? Or is this like everybody sees it and we're going to fail? Support right here if we do a 618 retrace and then go higher. I don't know all my bull pennant flag rules, but usually it's a little tighter. Could work. I don't know. Could break out. Usually the flagpole, as they call it. If you believe this pattern works, if we break out with the flagpole, could take us right up in the vicinity of the target area up there. Not bad. Dollar, pushing down. There we go. Almost to the target. Probably got a little more downside to go. Probably going to get at least 97.40, if not on down to 97. Kind of the area I've been expecting with this weakness that we've had here. So expecting just a little bit more downside, then we'll probably find some support. If we slice through it like a ninja with a razor blade, we might see this continue on down to the lower 90s. Got that potential. Maybe even take this whole move back. Definitely lower 90. Could go that deep. We've got a support level down here around 94. We may need to come all the way down and test this trend line again. We broke through it, back tested it, came up, back tested it, came up, higher high, but still lower than this high. Maybe back test it again, and if it doesn't hold, we may dip down into the lows on the dollar. Mag 7 stuff. Apple still not doing jack diddly squat. And the market not impressed with the Worldwide Developer Conference so far. Amazon, be careful. Mag 7s have this first move down, this retrace, and this potential to do another big down. And Apple, at this point, hasn't gotten up to the resistance. That was the highest high so far. That move down could go to 128. Amazon, Move down could come down in the 140s, which is where I've been looking for support for a good long while. On Amazon, if we get extension, we could come down to 130. Google has a first move down, resistance at the 618. We could also see a move down into like 120s. Meta, first move down, a little bit above resistance. I mean, this technically has the potential to go on up to 793, but first move down, retrace, even though it was a deep retrace, potential to come on down back in this 450 area. Microsoft, the only Mag 7 with that different pattern, probably going to pop 49. NVIDIA, first move down, retrace, potential to come down again. And that'll complete a crown pattern if we do that. That's a big head and shoulders right there. But it's a crown, what another guru I follow calls a crown pattern. It kind of looks like a king crown. That can lead to a much deeper downside if that breaks. Tesla. Apparently we're punted on the robo-taxi event today. Musk says, out of an abundance of caution, we're going to try to do that on the 22nd. So adding 10 more days for public launch of robo-taxi. And he said that's not a firm. So what do we do today? We may first move down, retrace. We may get a second, smaller correction here. First move down, the retrace, next move down. So we may see something on down into that 618 zone, which that potentially has 5 up off that low. Big, nice, fat 618 retrace. And that could set us up for a mega move. Already had it, basically. Mega move up into this zone. If that's a 1, this is a 2. A 3 could be 600. 4 pull back to 450-ish. And then 5 would be about that size. So you can see that thing popping on up to 700 to 800 potential. If this plays out, if this pulls back to here, holds that level right there. What level is that? Talking about 260 roughly. If we see that roll back down to 260, why would it do that? You got me, man. There's all sorts of stuff coming out. Something in that 260 area. Get that. That's the ticket. That's the ticket. I got put shares last week on this drop. I got 330 calls sold against those shares. If we're above that, I'll get called away and we'll play this game again. That's in the 50K challenge account, which if you've not seen it, well, I don't have it in the 50K challenge account. I have my dad's account. And I don't actually have Tesla in here. I misstated, sorry. But it's basically the 50K challenge style of trade. I don't actually have enough cash in here. This account is at 97,000. And buying Tesla shares at 300 is a little spicy. That's like a third of a $97,000 account. That's a little risk heavy for me. I'm trying to be at 20% or lower for my positions, so I can have 5-ish positions. So something hanging out at 327, that's a little spicy. So not trading Tesla in there. That's why. So that's the Mag 7s. Oracle, It's pretty bullish. We're gonna go. Looks like we're gonna head on up to 212 GDXU. Watch out here. Watch out here. See what Buddy B's doing. Oh yeah, come on, come to Papa. I'm looking for that spike right there. 2150. I'm gonna get the heck out of Dodge. I've got a long call on that one. Yeah, NEM not performing. That's lower high, lower high. Skags, this is what I was warning about a couple months, a month ago, whatever it was, 2 months ago. Watch out. Like this, the way this has come up off the lows, I don't like it. Not keen on it. That looks like we're going to do that again. And then that's back to overlapping all this stuff. Yeah. You can see like my foresight, I guess you might call it, you know, my spidey sense, as Ivan might call it. Yeah. Not liking that price action there. Very low likelihood to break out and head up here versus come on down. It's hard for me to explain it in full before the things happen, like NEM here. My market gut said GTFO. It just wasn't doing the pattern the right way. And then B, this, you can see it did kind of a 5-wave up, did a retrace, held the vicinity of this consolidation right here. That's bullish things to potentially even go much higher. Potentially go much higher. See, this has a potential 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This one has a nice, clicked on the wrong thing. If this actually does the bullish stuff that it has the potential to do, we could see a move like this. That's a healthy move, like $6. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to break out and go higher like this one has. You know, this one was the horse to bet on right here. I just didn't pick it out because the didn't give me a clear setup. At least not one that I paid attention to. So can't win them all. I can't pay attention to everything. SAP US version at the target. Probably gonna get a retrace to the roadmap line. I have no idea what the heck that is. GLD. Be careful here. Probably time. Like, I bet the gold rush trade worked out for anybody that did that. Watch out. Still got this downside potential. Ugly. Still has that downside potential. JNUG. That's 2x bullish on junior miners. Probably get a pullback with the GDX, GDXU, GDXJ. And that's interesting. Yeah. Probably get a pullback. CoreWeave. Watch out. This thing's starting to chop. Lower highs. That can lead to a deep retrace. If not, take it all the way back. Oh, there's a 2x on the Oracle. If you want to buy some Oracle exposure, Oracle might be popping here. Another few bucks up. This is a way to do it without buying options. Looking for, let's not get crazy here. We're looking for about 8% upside on Oracle. So ORCX, about a 16, 20% upside, maybe. 15%, maybe conservative. Looking for a $3 move, roughly. Not bad. Just buying shares. Calvo growers. A lot of chop. No clear path here. AU, Ashante Gold. That's another one that outperforming there. MVS broke out of this consolidation. Hit the target. I would expect this to come back. Retest. If we hold, that's bullish. Like, that's your opportunity right there. Nuggets. And be careful. Another 2x bull on gold miners. This one, while GDX is at like highs, right? Look at this. GDX, all-time high, banging around up here. Nugget, not all-time highs. Not even close. So be careful. The people managing this aren't great in the long term. So shiny. Now that one's 3x leverage, and it is hanging out up here. Now it is substantially below. I mean, that's pretty substantially below the high there. So if we're gonna pop it out, but that looks like we're probably due for a bigger correction here. There's AEM on the list. Liminatus, pharma, that's pharmaceutical biotech. Just stay the frick away. That's volatility. Biggest decliner, Boeing. Had a little problem in India. Nice big fat move up. I've been talking about the fact we got to the targets and we probably needed a retrace back down into the 160 area. I'd love to see that. That right there would present the giant opportunity to get long for a move to like the 500 to 600 area. Right there. Now, unfortunately, if we break down below this, though, if we don't hold that support, could extend it lower. So remember, the bullish news kind of lags the bullish chart by like 6 months. So we've gotten a move up, we've gotten a retrace, a little baby move up, a little retrace, present a potential next opportunity for this thing to pop. Let's see. Need to fix that. Got that move up. We've got this potential. Oh yeah. So the next move would probably be if we get that. Oh, that 618 is the wrong spot. Hold a second. That low, same spot, yeah. So next move would be like that. Then potential for that. And potential for that. That's that 500-600 area right there. That's what we're talking about. So we may see some volatility, expansion. And then that right there would complete 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Probably that 4 would probably take a little while, and then the 5 would probably go on up to maybe 700 or 800, maybe 1,000. This will probably lead to a bigger correction that does this for a few years, big consolidation before we popped the next move up there. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hey, Charlie, good to see you. Who's still speaking highly of you? Alrighty. Karoo Limited. Probably at a target. coming back down. Coming back down. GMEU. You wanted a 2x leverage on GME. Here's your opportunity, but selling $1 billion worth of notes, not exactly strong for GME stock. That one getting a little crushed. Imagine that. Up almost to the target, and GME doing GME things. Classic meme stock move. If we can hold this area, potentially bullish for a new high. If we don't hold that area, potentially bearish for a move back down in the teens. They've got like $5 billion of cash or some ridiculous bullshit. Let's see. Their revenue is horrible, but they got debt, but and they're gonna add debt too. Like that's so crazy. I don't know why you would add so much debt. Cash and equivalents, yeah, 6.39 billion with 1.7 billion in debt, and they're gonna issue like almost $2 billion in convertible notes. I don't know what they're shopping for, but it seems like they're holding this big cash pile to pick up some pieces when the market comes apart or something. I don't know. Like I have no idea. They were supposed to be doing the Bitcoin treasury thing, but they don't seem to be all in on that. It's kind of like, we'll dabble in it. Dabbling in it's not the way to go. You got to do it if you're going to do it. And they don't seem to be very committed. The head guy just doesn't seem to be very committed to doing the Bitcoin treasury thing. I don't know if he's not convinced or what, but I mean, their primary business is, running the GameStop stores, but people aren't buying physical games anymore. Like the Nintendo Switch came out, 4-day sales. It's the #1 selling electronic product ever in the first 4 days. Like they've moved 3.5 million units globally. The #1 selling piece of electronics ever. Think about that. More than any cell phone, more than any PlayStation, more than any other Nintendo console. They actually sold more Switches in the first 4 days than they sold the Switch 2s that just came out. If you're unfamiliar with what the heck I'm even talking about, Switch 2, this thing, handheld console thing, just came out 4 days ago. 3.5 million in 4 days, right there, top story. That's what it looks like. That's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. And they're selling the games for $80. Like the flagship game, Mario Kart, selling for $79.99. I got it back in stock online for some accessories. And looks like, priced at $449 for a handheld console. It's pretty spicy. Anyway. N-I-N, if I can spell Nintendo, Nintendo. We don't really have US listings for this. Well, I guess we have this OTC listing. Pretty spicy. Might top out around 23 here. Get a retrace possibly. Right there. So, new Nintendos, new PlayStations. Most of the games are bought digitally. They buy them on the digital stores and don't go to GameStop. So, GameStop bought out ThinkGeek, and I think it was just a horrible idea to kill that. Like, it was a potential cash cow for all the licensing they had. So, And Steam is another potential avenue for games. I've got a Steam Deck. Love that thing. BA 2X. Here you go. If you're looking for Boyu. I didn't even know this existed till this very moment. Right there's a 2X leverage on Boeing. You could buy without buying Boeing shares. Much more affordable at $38 a share. But I would probably wait for the correction to play out more deeply. Format Aerospace, probably going to retrace. ETHU, probably going to retrace. Oklo, probably going to retrace. That's the target. If you were long this, better protect it. Right? Set your stop, set your warnings. If we get back below that, probably going on a deeper retrace. And look at the numbers there. That's 66, that's 30. You could lose 50% on that right there. It was a beautiful trade. We went from the 40s to the 60s. But opportunity potentially done at this point. And pull that down. Yeah, potentially done. 70 even. Be careful out there. If nothing else, we could see a deep retrace back into the 30s before we go up again. That gives you opportunity to get out and get back in. If you're like, I don't like to do that, hey, buy a put for downside protection. But be careful. That's due for a pullback. Coinbase still in this, it's getting to be a month-long consolidation here. Bitcoin pulling back. This may pull back. We've talked about it ad nauseum. SBET coming back down. Probably going to, whenever the hype gets done, this is coming back to lows. It's got a reverse split. It's a piece of garbage company, or stock anyway. Be careful. FAS, that's a long consolidation here. I've been expecting financials to pull back a little bit ahead of, I would love to see this just do one quick pullback right to the roadmap line and set us up for the bounce on financial earnings coming up in July. ITA, iShares of Aerospace and Defense. That's BlackRock's Aerospace and Defense ETF. Looks played out. Be careful. Might pull back. PPTA, coming back to the roadmap line. C Limited, probably coming back to the roadmap line. DFDW, or DFDV, DeFi Development. Looks like first move down, retrace, maybe a next move down. Watch for that. It's to the roadmap line. A regular split. A reverse split and a regular split. Dangerous. RTX. Looks played out for now to the upside. I mean, it could extend. Entirely possible. Entirely possible. Could go on up to 152. But I would expect a retrace and then extension. Defense, man, these are war rhetoric ramping up. It looks like it's gonna pull back. Bulls banging on that resistance, may get a little retrace before we can pop. Restoration Hardware. There's the low, there's the high. Looking at support around 157. And if we get below 142, we're probably coming on down to a lower low. If we can hold that area right here, that sets up for a very bullish potential upside. How bullish? Let's talk about it. Looking for something like that. 442 right there. I might be interested in selling some puts right there. I'm going to have to take a look at this one. Very bullish potential if we can hold this pullback here. If you got put shares at this neighborhood and it ramped up here, ooh, baby, that's some spicy move right there. Spicy. I mean, look at that. That's 184% on shares. You can sell calls along the way. That's Reddit. Ooh. Not a fan of bouncing off that right there, but probably going to do a 618 retrace if we can hold it. Potential to come on up to 150. Been selling puts on this thing pretty aggressively. If I get put shares, I'm looking for that 153 upside. Setups for today, VICI. Already in it from back here, so despite this smaller bounce in here, and there's another opportunity to get in. Looking for 33, possibly even 34 on the upside. Not the best statistics. They're basically in line with the historical average. Actually, right in line, 75 and 1.2. So it's just an average opportunity here. And there you go, 33 and 34. Potential upside. So buys for the day for the 100 of you left or so. Zoomer up, Buttercup. Holding on to that 15-minute. So like I talked about, looking for this to remain support. If we start breaking through that, set your alert down here. 59, I guess 59.95. You know, 5.995. If we get below 5.995, probably gonna go on down. 60.30, 60.38. And you could round that up to 60.40. If we start getting above there with closes, we're probably going to take this to new highs, higher than we were yesterday. So playing in between here doesn't provide any clarity. So there's your level high. Here's your level low. Playing around in between here provides nothing. It's just consolidation. All right. That's what we're looking for today. I bought a position in XSP yesterday looking for this. I suspected we were done a little early. Later day dip here. I was optimistic we were going to hold right here, hold a higher low, but we didn't. We went on down. No big deal. That's why I bought a couple days. I do expect us to grind up at least one more time. Maybe to keep grinding into the FOMC. So downside, if we get below the 59.95, probably coming down here for the next support test. 59.70, 59.60, somewhere in that zone. All right. Be careful out there today, everybody. Looks like we could have a wild one if we kick off a hot war. Never know. Be careful. The account you save may be your own. We'll see you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15. Cheers.